So in the wee hours of April 2nd, 2025, Nintendo officially revealed the Switch 2 in an hour-long direct and gave us a lot of fun information about, the system itself, some fun accessories, and of course, launch games that will start to populate the first few months of the system's life. And I'll be real, as someone who was there watching the whole thing live, it was really, really cool. Like, seeing a new Nintendo system being revealed and seeing all the stuff that's gonna be with it was very, very fun, because even though, yeah, I did watch the Switch 1's launch back in 2016, something felt, much more different now that, I'm now, in the adult age. I now, make content semi-regularly, so I can actually appreciate a lot more of the stuff coming out. And as for what they showed us, it was really, really freaking, like, I still can't believe we saw some of this stuff. So I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and sit down and just talk about, what I thought about the system, what I thought about the games, the good, the bad, the ugly, all that fun stuff, because it was good, but it was also bad in some areas. Like, I wish it would lower the damn price. But besides that, I thought it was pretty alright. So how about we sit back, relax, and talk about the system itself, and what I thought was good, bad, and overall downright confusing. Starting off with the system itself, it's basically a more beefed up Switch, which really isn't necessarily a bad thing, honestly. I think that they want to, try to avoid another Wii U situation with its naming scheme, so Switch 2 is a name, and as a system, pretty standard stuff. But there are some few things on it that make it a bit more like, hey, you want to push for that, We got a bigger screen, which is really cool, and in handheld mode, it's going to be at, I believe, a locked 1080 resolution, which I think is really, really cool. Unlike the Switch 1, which is only 720, and then you're going to, like, 60 FPS and some stuff, 124K when docked, stuff like that makes it really, really enticing to play, especially with things like the Steam Deck now in the market. Having that higher frame rate and those high resolution options is really, really fun to go ahead and play with. And not to mention we have stuff like HDR and 3D audio, and I assume HD Rumble's still gonna be coming back, because that was the main thing of the Joy-Cons, but they didn't really mention HD Rumble that much. The Joy-Cons themselves are magnetic as opposed to a rail, which honestly, thank God, I hated that rail so much. It was so yucky and terrible. The joysticks on the Joy-Cons are bigger, which that's all I mentioned. They didn't really mention that much about it, but I hope this alleviates the drift, because if I would name one issue of this whole generation was the Joy-Con drift, those Joy-Cons, I've gone through like 5 pairs, and only now I have only 2 functioning ones. So that should tell you a little bit how the system has not really done the best with controls, but the Pro Controller itself has been pretty good, and they are going to come back with a brand new one, which has some, new buttons on it and all that, but the old one will still work, which is really, really fun. So at least the Pro Controller is coming back, and that's really awesome, and I really do like that. The system memory was something I was really interested about, because the original Switch only had 32 gigs, which was just pathetically tiny. It only fit like maybe 5 games, but now a base model is gonna be 256 gigs. So quite a little bit more games right there, but it was really fun to see you could fit a lot more on there, and even you can add a micro SD card in there. Although they only specifically said you could use an express micro SD card, which I don't really know the difference between one or the other, but they had to make that very specific. It has to be an express one, so sure, I guess. Why the heck not? We got USB-C ports on the top and bottom, which is really, really honestly something that I'm surprised wasn't there from the get-go. So, like, if you're playing in tabletop, like the 3 people on Earth who do, that's something we can have, and, you got more powerful fans and all that. Just basically all around makes it look really, really cool. And the stand. That stand is cool. I like it. It's very, very fun. So, really, overall, the system itself is a lot more beefed up. I'd say it's kind of on par with, like, a PS4 Pro, but the fact that this thing is portable is really, really cool, and honestly gives you more run for your money as opposed to the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck does have, the entire Steam library that has, like, so many different franchises on it, which is really, really cool and all. But seeing that a Nintendo side of things is very, very interesting, and the fact that you can play stuff like, 3D Mario and Zelda and Mario Kart, Smash Bros, Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, all this stuff on the go without just at 60 FPS or even like 4K is amazing, and I really, really, really like that. And also I forgot to mention the Joy-Cons actually now have mouse capabilities as well, where if you put them on their sides and drag them across the surface, they can act as mice in games. So if you want to play games like Civilization or Metro Prime, they will work as if you're using an actual mouse pointer, and that is so freaking cool. I cannot tell the amount of times I've been playing a game on Switch that requires mouse controls. I'm like, damn, this just would feel so much better if you just drag and point. But now we have them. I don't know how many games are going to utilize this feature, but if it's just a fair number of them, that'd be really, really cool. I'm really excited to see them actually, be like, hey, you can now play this with mouse and keyboard, but you can play Splatoon with it. Who knows? That'd be awesome. Next comes the games, and the games they announced during this direct were freaking insane. We didn't get that many, mind you, but the ones that we did get were actually really, really cool, that are coming out within the year-ish, at least for first-party Nintendo. Third-party is a bit, all over the place, but we still had some good stuff that, honestly, it's really nice. We got Mario Kart World, the brand new Mario Kart game, and this one for being a launch title is very, very cool. You know, basically taking the whole concept of being a world, basically driving all around the whole world, having different courses set in like different areas and like cities and locales and all that is really, really fun. And the characters, the 24 character racing is insane. Like just from the opening shot of the trailer, you saw so many characters in there, not just like Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Bowser, whatever, but you got to see, you know, like the penguin from Mario 64, the Goomba's finally playable, thank God. King Boo is back. You got Monty Mole, Cataquax, freaking the cow from Moo Moo Meadows. That right there is insane. I really love that creativity. But overall, the game looks really, really fun. You got some free roam in there. You can drive around the whole map. You can actually drive between maps, so there's no actual load times, which is really, really cool. The multiplayer, I assume, is going to be amazing. New items, new everything. And overall, it's just looking to be the next big evolution from Mario Kart. And I didn't think they could go any higher than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, considering we had, you know, all the DLC and all the anti-gravity stuff. But now, seeing how they're going for more an open world, you can go this and that and anywhere in that is amazing. And this game is looking to be cherry on top. It looks awesome. We also got Drag X Drive, or Dragon Drive, which is a game that utilizes mainly the Switch 2 mouse capabilities, which is basically just, I guess in the simplest terms, wheelchair basketball in some cases, where you control this like wheelchair type man who you roll around in your wheels and you basically go up ramps and basically play basketball. That's pretty much all it is. It honestly looked a bit plain in my opinion, I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah, it's cool that they have a game to show off the actual mouse controls of the system, but besides that, it didn't really have any color or personality. And yeah, it's a tech demo, I don't really expect that much from it, but like, I don't know, man, it didn't look that great. But for those who want to try the mouse controls out in a more simple game that isn't really gonna be that taxing, it looks alright. It looks kind of cute, but it does give me vibes of Rocket League, which I hate, so yeah. I don't really know about it, but Dragon Drive, it exists. You also got another tech demo being the Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which is basically just you control a little guy that goes inside the Switch 2 system and you walk around and explains things about the system. It's cute. I mean, if you want to explore and see what the Switch 2 has to offer and all its capabilities, it's really, really fun. But the fact that it's basically a simulator and you have to pay for it, which they revealed as well, not really down for that. Honestly, this would be better as like a pre-installed tech demo. But I mean, like, if you're interested in like everything of the aspects, you're really interested in like seeing the engineering side of the Switch 2 system, it'd be cute. But again, for me, like, I seen the direct, I know what does mouse controls, I know what does the rumble and all that, so not really big for me. But hey, if you're an engineer, it's pretty cute. Next, oddly enough, we got some new Nintendo Switch Online games from a system that I never thought would ever happen, being GameCube. And that to me is really, really hype. The GameCube to me is my childhood system. I love it to bits. And while they only showed off 3 starting games, being Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX, the possibilities for not only local and online multiplayer, but for the games in general is amazing. Like, they have scheduled down the pipeline. They showed off a little splash game. We have, you know, Mario Sunshine and Mario Strikers coming down the line, Luigi's Mansion, Chibi Robo, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Pokemon XD, and Coliseum. Those are some great games that I really love to play, and it makes me excited to see what they're going to do for future games that weren't on the splash screen, like maybe like Mario Party 4 through 7, you know, Mario Kart Double Dash, Pikmin 1 or 2, Melee. Just seeing some games that would really, really define the GameCube generation, that would be really fun to see. Heck, even Star Fox Adventures or Assault would be really fun to see as well. So yeah, GameCube NSO is great. It looks awesome. I can't wait for it. And the fact that you don't need to pay any more for it, it's giving me the same tier as N64 and Game Boy Advance. Really, really awesome. So I'm excited for it. For me, that was my top tier announcement. I love that so much. So GameCube NSO, heck yeah, thank you. DS, when? Next. Make that happen. We also got quite a number of Switch 2 third-party games, which is really, really cool, you know, from other companies that are going to be releasing either in the first few months or even on launch day, which is really, really cool. I'm not going to spend that much time on it, but just to note a few, you know, we got Bravely Default, Borderlands 4, Cyberpunk 2077, which is really, really interesting, Daemon X Machina, Deltarune, okay, cool, a new From Software IP called The Duskbloods, some EA Sports, whatever, Enter the Gungeon, Hades 2, Elden Ring, finally, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, a new James Bond game at some point, Street Fighter 6, Split Fiction, Civ 7, Yakuza 0, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4. This is just amazing. Like, these are all games, whether in some shape or form, are super freaking awesome to play, and I cannot wait. Especially Yakuza 0. That game is freaking phenomenal. And Final Fantasy, oh my god. FF7 Remake and Rebirth are great games, so that's really awesome to see. And man, the future of third party is going to be great, and I cannot wait to see what they're going to come up next. I assume other games games like Monster Hunter Wilds will come out eventually, but as a starting lineup for either the first few months or the first like day of the Switch's release, that is amazing. And oh my god, third parties, you're gonna be eating good because actually put your games on there, they're actually gonna run right. So that's awesome. I love that. Now, very surprisingly, we got a brand new Kirby game titled Kirby Air Riders, a sequel to the GameCube game, which is directed by Sakurai himself, which is really, really cool. Now, me personally, I've not really played the first one at all. I don't really know anything about it, but people seem to love it at some point, especially City Trial being that really fun game mode. So a new Kirby racing game is great, and I didn't think we'd be getting two of them in the same direct, but hey, Kirby's cool, Air Riders looks fun, and even though we didn't get to see any gameplay, the fact that Sakurai is back in the brand new directed game is awesome, which only means Uprising, Kid Icarus Uprising at some point soon, maybe? I'm hopeful. And to end off the whole direct, we got the reveal of a brand new 3D Donkey Kong game titled Donkey Kong Bonanza. This is freaking insane because our last 3D Donkey Kong game was in 1999 with Donkey Kong 64 on the N64. Even before that, our last actual Donkey Kong game was Tropical Freeze back in 2014. So it's been about 10-ish years since our last actual Donkey Kong game, and the fact that we're getting a brand new one now, but as a launch title, and it's a 3D Donkey Kong game, that's amazing. And honestly, the game looks super, super fun. Like, just seeing this giant island, you get to play as, you know, a big, beefy new version of Donkey Kong, which is inspired by the 80s version. You get to smash around the whole area. You got this little rat guy hanging out with you. You have so many moves to traverse around, like, you know, diving and rolling and punching out all the environment. The fact that they show off the island being almost completely destructible is really, really fun. You can basically traverse it in any way. Is very, very cool. And just, like, the game looks phenomenal. Like, I thought we were locking for a new 3D Mario at the start of this generation, but I guess saving that more towards the holiday season, which is, you know, understandable. Mario's a big moneymaker. That makes sense. But, like, Donkey Kong, it looks super fun. It looks great. You know, like, the fact that you get to explore everything at once is fun, and the new areas look really cool. You got these little mine areas, you got this little, like, these forest areas, you got to collect these giant bananas. It looks really cool, really fun, and I am still in shock that we have this as a game. This looks insane. I love it. And oh my god, coming out a month after the Switch 2 release, which is really, really cool. So if you're tired of Mario Kart, you can play as Big Giant Monkey Man, and that's awesome. I like that. So yeah, Donkey Kong is back, baby. The King of Swing is back. I love it. Now, the biggest thing about the Direct after the fact was the price of the systems. Now, in the US, the Switch 2 is scheduled to be $449 for the main system, and the bundle is $500, which, you know, seems kind of reasonable in some aspects. I thought it'd be maybe at least $400, but you know what, whatever. But the big thing were the games. The games are scheduled to be, at least Mario Kart is, at $80, which is freaking insane, by the way. Like, I know that, you know, Tears of the Kingdom was $70 back, you know, when it came out in 2023, but like, that was a big Zelda game. They're trying to test the waters and all that. But the fact that we have Mario Kart at $80 is really, really wild, because like, if this is them trying to test the waters, being like, can we really get away with this, is really, really weird, because like, Donkey Kong is coming out a month later, but it's going to be $70. So are only their high tier games like 3D Mario and Zelda and Smash Bros. And Mario Kart going to be $80, while stuff like Donkey Kong and Kirby and, you know, Pokemon are going to be like $70? Is that the new deal? I don't really understand it, because I thought $60 is the sweet spot for games. That is a great and all that, and that's fine. $70 was okay, but it was still a hard pill to swallow, but it was still okay. $80, that is insane. I don't know what they're thinking about this. I don't know if that's anything to do with outside, you know, measures with like politics and the other sides of the world and all that. I don't really know, but the fact that this is $80 is kind of wild, and I hope that Nintendo takes a step back and realizes, hey, people want to play these games. People will love our franchise and want to play them with their friends and family for this whole generation. Make them at least, like, I'd say 60 or 70. I think that between those two is the sweet spot. 80 is wild. But if they do end up going with 80, I'm going to probably take a while before I get a Switch 2, because I want to get one at launch, but now after seeing these prices, it's kind of wild. Especially me in Canada, where the base system is going to be $630. I'm probably going to wait a little bit before actually getting the system, which doesn't make me say I hate the games. The games itself look amazing. The system itself looks great. But price-wise, it's a hard pill to swallow, and I'm gonna really think about, you know, gonna have to wait until something really comes out. We'll be like, this is worth it and all of that. But if some people buy it at launch, I don't blame you. You like it, good on you. But for me, I'm gonna wait a little bit. But in general, and all things considered, game-wise, system-wise, it looks fun, looks great, and I'm excited to experience it at some point. So there you go. Switch 2, welcome to the family. It's gonna be fun, gonna be great, and I'm excited to play it at some point in the future. If you excuse me, I'm gonna go play some Switch of my own, because I got Xenoblade in the back burner. I gotta play it before I get any new games done, so Xenoblade away!